Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face! Ah!
Oh, wow.
I think that this is a new episode of the Film Majors that we're in. Hello, everybody.
Oh my god, is it that? Is
It
that what
is
it
that.
is? Holy
Wow.
shit!
It's the
Well, not for
sweet
nothing,
sound
but I'm
of white
Zach.
men in my earbuds.
Ooh. Alexis and the two guys back at it again.
Getting racial right off the bat.
I spend my
as
life
a white
racial.
man, I support that.
Alexis stays racial in these streets.
That's right. Racial
Well,
in the
as-
streets.
As I previously stated, I am Zach.
I am Mick.
I'm Alexis. Hello.
That's Alexis.
Fantastic. Zach, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking lemonade and gin.
Lemonade and gin? You're drinking
Yeah.
gin? What's going
A
on?
little.
Who is he?
Well, Mick, what is going on?
What is going on? That is the question that we
What's
find
going on
ourselves
is
asking
You
each
know,
other.
I'm kicking back and just enjoying some time in the beautiful state of Oregon once again because it is the week of Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. Well, we don't need to acknowledge the meaning of the holiday, but happy day off.
I feel like
hope
it's
you're enjoying
pretty
it.
unanimously accepted now in society that it's Friendsgiving, because I just feel like everyone has jumped on board with that term. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Who doesn't love a Friendsgiving?
Yeah, we love
I don't
Friendsgiving.
actually get to go to Friendsgiving that often, though. So
Why?
I always
Sad.
have to go to my family's Thanksgiving. I've literally because I email my clients for my job, and I literally refuse to tell anybody Happy Thanksgiving. It's Happy Holidays.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna be the same
man.
way about fucking Christmas too. I'm gonna be like, Happy Holidays.
I am very much that way about Christmas because you can really tell who is fucking obnoxious by
Yes.
who gets offended by that.
Yeah, when they're like, it's Christmas, say it. Say
And
Christmas.
like,
Say
first
it.
of all, fuck Christmas. Okay, wait. Can I have a side
That's a
note?
good
The
start.
Christ child.
I have a side note of so remember how I told you that me and one of my cast members are in competition of who can make the other break while we're on stage? Well,
Indeed, in the production of A Christmas
in
Carol.
the production of A Christmas Carol, which
A Holiday Carol.
okay. Also, I was accused this past week, and I felt like I didn't want to say this, but I felt like you guys would find it really funny. But I was accused of not loving joy.
That is a fair accusation to level
Because I
against
didn't
her.
want to
Nailed her
take-
ass to the wall.
I didn't want to do Secret Santa, and I thought it was optional. They said at the beginning, weeks ago, a month ago, that if you want to do it, you can do it. And then I never took a paper, and
Yeah.
then she's like, so has everybody turned in their Secret
but-
Santa form? And I was like,
Oh my God.
I haven't, and she's like, well, why not? And I
Alexis-
was like, well, I thought it was optional. And she was like, oh, so you just don't love peace and joy? And I was like,
Alexis, you are the Larry David of this podcast. So Alexis, if you get invited to a party, right, and they say please, like an official party, maybe not like a friend's party, but
Yeah.
a wedding or something like that, and they go please no gifts, right? What do? You still have to get a gift. Even though they say no gifts, you don't want to be that person that actually
They
listened.
said no
okay,
gifts.
first of all, if I told somebody no gifts at a fucking party, I would want no gifts, because what if they get something that I don't like and then I have to pretend that I like it?
No, that's the best part. That's the best part is you don't have to pretend. You can just straight up be like, oh, tube sucks. Okay. Yeah. See, that's a problem with Western society is that we're not literal enough. We'll say things like, oh, yeah, Secret Santa, totally optional. That's not optional. In no way is that ever going to be optional.
Say what you fucking mean.
I just thought it was, it doesn't matter, because one of my favorite lines that I broke my cast member on this past week was, I think he told me something like, oh, Scrooge had uncontrollable diarrhea at my house the other day. And then I told him, I actually don't have a problem with Scrooge. I fucking hate poor people too. And it was very fun, and it did break him.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then another one, did I already tell you guys the one where he tore someone's arm off and then beat somebody with it in a back alley?
Yeah. That was what you opened with. Yeah.
That was great.
Well, that's wonderful, but I'd like to... This is, once again, it's not the Theater Majors, although go see Alexis in A Christmas Carol in Fresno. This is the Film Majors, and I have seen a whole fuck ton of films recently.
Oh, now I understand why you said it was going to be long.
No, that's not why.
Oh.
But I went and saw... was this yesterday? Yes. Yesterday, I got up bright and early, unintentionally. I woke up earlier than I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I looked at the showtimes at the various local Cineplexes here in Eugene, Oregon. Mm-hmm. And at 10:30 in the morning on a Monday, I went and saw Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I want to see that.
A slasher film set around this upcoming holiday, and I've got to say, it was very fun. Yeah. I've kind of... Eli Roth has long kind of been a complicated figure for me. I like Hostel. I kind of have a soft spot for Hostel. And his talking head interviews in these horror documentaries at the Experience Music Project in Seattle were very influential in me taking horror seriously as a genre. But I generally have not really liked his movies other than Hostel. So it was nice to see another one that I thought was pretty good. Lots of fun, creative kills. Slasher villain dressed up like a pilgrim is fun. It's set in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so you got a lot of great, masshole accents.
Nice. He's from Massachusetts, so that's back in his old stomping grounds. Yes,
absolutely. And yeah, no, I generally thought it was a good time. The ending of the movie makes fucking not a lick of sense. You got a lot of logic leaps for the resolution of the central mystery of the movie. But it was a fun journey. And, if you're a horror fan, go ahead and check this movie out and add it to your seasonal rotation, because it's a blast. And then last night, I also watched, I went to past and future guest Edwin's place, and I watched Ichi the Killer and Tommy, both of which are insane. Ichi the Killer is based on a manga. It's a Takashi Miike movie who made Audition.
Yeah.
It is
nice.
Extremely fucking gruesome. If you are troubled by things, just troubled by any sort of upsetting thing, it's in this movie. But it is also extremely silly and very fucking funny, and I liked it a lot. I didn't expect it to be kind of a blast, but it was. And I feel a little weird saying that based on... If you only see the opening of the movie, which is a pretty fucking brutal and grim scene, you may be like, Zach, what are you talking about? But if you you have the stomach for upsetting things, keep going, because it becomes crazier and crazier and sillier as it goes. And yeah, then I also watched Tommy, which is the Ken Russell directed rock opera with The Who.
Yeah.
Nice.
Elton John's in it. It's the Pinball Wizard.
How was that?
It was really fun, extremely weird and trippy, and psychosexually upsetting.
Classic Ken Russell. Staples of the Ken Russell film.
I just was watching it and I was like, what if just out of the blue, the Jonas Brothers just put out a movie that was all of their songs but it was like a fucking acid trip of them like starting a cult and like also getting molested, and one of them like
Isn't it just one album?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but okay. What
Correction
if there was
correction corner?
Thank you.
Correction
I'm just
corner.
saying, if the Jonas Brothers put out an album and then made a fucking insane movie like this, like, it would not be successful, and everyone would be like, "Why the fuck did you do that?"
Well, I mean, Pink
But because
Floyd
it was
also
the-
did something similar.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Because it was the 1970s,
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Yeah, all right, sure, this can be a hit." Like Tommy was a fucking success. Like
Oh, yeah, it fucking was.
It made money. It's extremely bizarre. Very glad I saw it. And then I watched one other film, but I will get to that later.
Cool. I've seen a couple of films. I finally saw a new release. I went out and watched Sofia Coppola's Priscilla. Lugama. Yeah.
That was okay. I did see one other
Yes,
thing.
you did
actually.
see another movie.
I saw the Taylor Swift movie, and I saw Mick at the theater.
Yes.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
no, I was in line to get drinks, and I look over, and I was like, this person standing next to me looks a lot like Sloaney Baloney. It is Sloaney Baloney.
Please stop
And
calling
so-
her that.
How
There-
was
there
the
we go.
eras?
That was the rudest fucking audience I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
I had a
Someone was
rude
check-
audience, too.
Someone
Dude,
was checking their email.
Yeah, in my
like-
theater, this is at the Glendale AMC. There was a
Get your
an
house
usher.
in order, Americana.
Yeah, the usher had to come in and like tell people to like get off their phone because like the whole row in front of me, like everyone was just texting and like recording the movie on their phones. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, like the Taylor Swift movie, I'm allowing more leeway. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that the two, 8-year-old girls sitting in front of me are gonna get up and dance. Like, whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine. But, like, the number of people coming in and out of the theater, and yeah, this one girl checking her fucking email, I'm like, this is not, like, I understand it's a concert film, but it's not a concert.
Yeah.
And like, even if you were at a concert and you were fucking checking your email, like you wouldn't do that. You would watch it.
Yeah.
Like, respect the fucking craftspeople who made the thing, and more importantly, respect me, because I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, I saw Priscilla, and something that I was not expecting with that film is how funny it is. I'm going to go on record as that Priscilla is a sleeper comedy. There were, I think my favorite line of the film is when Elvis looks over at Priscilla and says something along the lines of, "Priscilla, this isn't going to work unless you share my passion for philosophy." And I just said out loud, "LOL," and like the audience just laughed. Like that is a funny movie. It is also not a funny movie. It is very uncomfortable, especially like in the first half. But I have to say, I think it makes a really good companion piece to Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily contradict one another. It's just that Baz Luhrmann's Elvis is just completely interested in showing the Vegas Strip style that he always does of Elvis, and then they kind of touch on the dynamics of their relationship during its very long run time. But then Priscilla, as its title would suggest, is all about her perspective. So I think it would make like a really terrific double feature, actually, because they complement each other well. I was kind of expecting this to contradict that movie, but they really don't. It's really well done. I have to give accolades to the crew that made Priscilla, because like Elvis, their period hair is pretty top notch. That's a big pet peeve of mine that I've said on this show before.
Over and over again.
This movie nails it. Especially because it's an A24 movie, so it's a small budget. They did not have a lot of, like, there's one shot of Elvis. Who played Elvis? Jacob something?
Jacob
Elordi.
Jacob Elordi. He's really, really good. But there's one shot of him on the stage performing, and you have maybe 20 background actors in silhouette, kind of like going like this. It's very, very low budget. But I have to say, with what they had, having a period piece with a low budget is very difficult. And they really knocked it out of the park. The actress who plays Priscilla was incredible, and I was blown away that she is in fact not 18 or younger, because she's 25. Looks like it. She's 25. I was really uncomfortable watching the movie because the first half of the film, I'm convinced that they got like a 16-year-old girl. So when her and Jacob like start making out, I was like, oh my God, like they're going all the way with this. Like, how is this allowed? Yeah. But no, it was just really, really good makeup, hair, costumes for her. And also she just gave a terrific performance as Priscilla. So yeah, I like the film. Super solid. I agree with you, Alexis, on what you said on the last episode. I think it's pretty damn good. Glad I saw it.
Heck yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the only new release that I saw. I keep trying to see other things. But I also saw an old film called, what is the name of it? Taras Bulba, which is about the Cossacks back in the day, starring Yul Brynner and Tony Curtis. And this is a bad film that I'm not suggesting people watch. But do you guys know who Yul Brynner is?
No.
I kind of briefly know about the Cossacks.
So Yul Brynner, has anyone seen that sci-fi film Westworld, the original Westworld?
No, I haven't. That's been on my list for a very long time.
Do you know the poster, the bald guy that plays the baddie? Either of you know that at all? No?
Yes,
No.
I do.
Okay, that guy is like the same age as Tony Curtis. And Tony Curtis plays his son in the film. And there's a great scene because, like, he starts off as a boy, but like 15 minutes into the movie, we have grown-up son, and it's Tony Curtis. And there's a scene where all the Cossacks are in a bar getting horrendously drunk, and Tony Curtis is like spilling over himself and just falls into the lap of Yul Brynner, and Yul Brynner is just like petting his leg and stuff. And it was I was just like, this is weird. Why did they cast Tony Curtis, the whitest looking dude? It's just like, oh my God. So the only reason I'm talking about it at all is just like weird casting choices where you have an actor who's the same age.
That makes me think about the opening of Walk Hard, where John C. Reilly is like, I'm just a 14-year-old boy, mama.
Yeah.
It's like him in a crowd of children.
Yeah. It's like really similar to that. It's very, very strange. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me in the film world. What about you, Alexis?
Wow. So, funnily enough, I have a strange tie-in with the Cossacks.
Fucking go for it.
Because I watched...
Teed you up.
I watched An American Tail, but Tail. Tail.
Tail.
Yeah, so it's about a mouse. It's about really it begins with a family of mice, and it's from like 1985, and it's a Don Bluth film, and it's about this it's Fievel Mouskowitz, and I believe he is definitely Jewish. They are Jewish little mice.
Fievel Mouskowitz? Yeah, that's a Jewish mouse.
Yeah, he's definitely Jewish. They talk about anyways. And they end up having to, I think they live in Russia, and then they end up having to like flee Russia because I think like the house that they were like, because obviously they live in a smaller part of the house, but the house that they were like living under was attacked, like the whole neighborhood was attacked by, I think, the Cossacks or something, like came through and just like fucking wreaked havoc on the neighborhood or whatever. And then of course the cats come out, and there's this whole thing about there are no cats in America, and it's literally just a movie about mice, but it's really just a movie about the immigrant experience in like the 1910s or something, because there's all this, we want freedom. Anyways.
We want freedom.
Yeah, there's this
Is
one.
Five Will Goes West sequel that?
It's this, yeah, the Five Will Goes West is the sequel. I think it's really funny. There's this really funny moment where like this woman who's like the richest mouse in town, she comes in and she's like, we can't let the cats do this to us anymore. You know, she was like, they can't even tell between the poor and the rich anymore. Like basically saying like the rich are also getting eaten, so now we got to do something about it. That shit had me like giggling.
Is that an animated movie, or is it like Mouse on the Motorcycle?
No, it's like an animated movie. Don Bluth is like a pretty famous like kids movie director from like the 80s.
Yeah, he was like kind of building and like opposing animated option in the US to Disney during the 80s.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg was like an executive producer on it.
Right, yeah. Oh, was that an Amblin film?
I think so.
Right, yeah, because that would have been Amblin, but before he founded DreamWorks.
Yeah. So
cool.
So and also, Horny for Horner, James Horner also does the score for that movie, and it's cute,
his
it's
world.
sweet.
We're just living in it.
Yeah, and it's got a beautiful violin piece that plays like over and over again, like as like this kind of theme and stuff. So, but it's good. It's kind of like, you know, like some kid getting lost from his family and having to find his way in the big city, and, you know, kind of seeing like the disappointment in traveling to America as an immigrant, basically. And then the other,
What did you watch, Alexis?
I have seen a new release.
Yeah, what was it?
I have actually seen
we know what
it twice. I have seen it twice.
Oh my god. Is it that good?
Okay, I didn't technically choose to see it twice on purpose. It's just that I went the first time to see it with my sister on purpose, and then somebody else was like, oh, do you want to go see this? And I was like, oh, I already saw it, but like I'd be down to go again. Like, why not? You know?
I have heard good things.
I mean,
what's the film?
It's the Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I've seen it twice in theaters. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the soundtrack, and I know that I think Rachel Zegler is just like a really fucking good, like she's a really fucking good singer. Obviously she did everything live in A West Side Story, which we covered earlier this year, and then she also did it live for this movie. She's just really talented. But the guy who played Snow, really hot.
Oh god.
Yeah, I saw you describe his, quote, cunty little wig.
I'm not the only person. I stole that from other people on the internet, okay? I said fascism never looks so scrumptious.
Oh my god.
That's worse. Oh god. Engraved on Alexis's tombstone.
It was, I think, Zach, do you remember what I said? It was like, it was really bad. It was really bad. I literally wrote that, and I was like, I just need to be put away.
I watched this twice to confirm my suspicion that my colonizer blood is skewing my judgment. Fascism looks scrumptious in a cunty blonde wig. Someone put me down.
Good God. I think Alexis has passed her expiration date. You gotta throw that away.
Oh, I'm
Horny
so
posting
rancid.
on Maine.
Rancid as fuck. But yeah, no, I mean, like, in general, I really want to read the book because I've heard that, like, you won't like his character at all if you read the book. You know, obviously, a lot of times when you see things, like, adapted into a movie, it tends to give more humanity to a character than you might get from a book, because in the book they're only going to give you like, either they're going to not give you enough information and it's only going to be like kind of one-dimensional, or you're going to get all of the information. You're going to realize they're a shitty person. Whereas, so this book, you get all the information. It's like a first-person like point of view. So he's shitty. We know he's shitty. But in this movie, he's really hot. But I also like that Rachel Zegler and her boyfriend have been in like the same movies like a bunch of times now. Like he played Chino.
Who's her boyfriend?
I think his last name's Rivera.
Oh, the guy who plays Chino?
Yeah, he's Chino in West Side Story, and he also plays one of the main side characters, Serjanus, in this movie.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I really liked
really
him in
good.
West Side Story. I thought he was incredible in that movie.
Yeah, he's really good. So like the totally power couple dynamic going on there. And then of course Hunter Schafer was great. I love her. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I really liked it. I really liked the soundtrack. Olivia Rodrigo did a really good song for the end credits. And all the like folk songs that they wrote for the movie were really good. So I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Well, I do love some folk music.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to make a movie that you're like, oh, wow, that's so good. Like, definitely go see it. I can totally defend the plot because he's a villain. So, like, it's really hard to, like, you know, once you get to the third act, he's kind of, like, beyond redemption almost, you know, and he's just, like, slipping further. So, no. Stop it. Sorry, that's my dog. She's like kind of past redemption, so it's kind of like I kind of can't get behind it. I think there was actually somebody who sniffled when he was crying towards the end, and I was like, no, you will not be getting any fucking sympathy from me. Thank you, sir.
Well, again, if you really want to watch a movie with unsympathetic characters, check out Ichi the fucking Killer. That is living in the fucking gutter from minute one.
Wow.
So, Alexis,
The title card appears out of a puddle of cum.
would you say that fascism was no longer scrumptious by the third act?
Yeah.
She can't say it. She cannot say it.
You're really hesitating, and that's not good.
Mick fucking pulled the escape hatch on this fucking crashing plane, and you fucking buckled your seatbelt.
Yeah. You're staying in the plane. I got my parachute on. I'm gone, baby.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Okay. He kind of looks like Eminem, but like back when Eminem was still cool in the 90s, before you realized how problematic he was.
What are you talking about? He got so cool when he did the Venom soundtrack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Elton John was like, I can fix him.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest, less scrumptious just by default of not having the cunty little blonde wig anymore. So, and he loses that in the third act, you know, like the third section of the movie. So I think
so less scrumptious.
Yeah, I can confidently say fascism looks less scrumptious in the military.
There you go. All right.
I don't like
You heard
where I'm
it
at
here
right
first,
now.
folks.
I think that is as good a place as any to hop the fuck out of what's going on.
Okay, wait, side note.
Good God.
I'm gonna go see Napoleon tonight in IMAX, and then I'm seeing
Oh, fuck
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
I'm seeing Saltburn on Friday with my sister.
Nice.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
More Jacob Elordi.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
boy.
there he is. There he is. Cameo.
How we doing tonight?
Papa
my
Harris.
God.
Oh,
Hello?
it's Zach.
My father
Hi.
has
How's everybody
arrived.
doing?
Oh my God.
How we doing?
It's like getting a glimpse into the future, Zach.
Yeah, isn't that haunting?
That's great.
Stop at Fresno.
All right.
Here we come.
Have
Fresno.
fun.
Yeah.
Happy holidays,
Really make
Mr.
sure
Harris.
you lean directly on our mixer, man.
Hey, Mick, we're going to visit your folks in Walport on Saturday.
Good.
Okay,
Give up
great.
their address.
I'm not going to warn them.
Zach.
Oh my God.
Zach.
Okay. Yes,
Zach.
that's me.
You know that move that he just did with the arms, and he's just like, yeah, that's so you.
Yeah, Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, this is where he gets it from.
Great, awesome, so glad. So, Alexis, you can hear the sounds of my father and our family dog in the background, but I'm hearing something else. I'm hearing another kind of sound echoing through these halls. Do you hear that?
Is that the train? Can you hear it? Can you hear it
That's
coming
the train.
around the
Oh
bend?
my god. Alexis, I feel like it's slowing down. Where's it stopping? Where's it stopping?
At the animation station, y'all. Hollow back.
Oh my god. It's our final stop.
It is.
It's the last stop at the
Wow.
animation station.
It's been a special time.
Oh, where has the time gone?
I don't
Well,
know.
as we have arrived at our final stop at the animation station, what's our final big topic?
Our final big topic is the goodest boys of cinema.
The goodest boys of the silver
bestest
screen.
Scruffy boys of cinema.
Hell yeah.
Well, who are some of our favorite cinematic dogs? Mick?
I don't know the name of the dog off the top of my head, but one of my personal favorites is Max Rockatansky's sidekick in Mad Max, specifically the first
a good
one.
Dog. That's
The
a good
Australian
dog.
Shepherd is a fantastic boy. He's a good boy. And I like that Max and his dog will share a meal together. As in, they both eat dog food out of a can.
Oh my god, yeah.
But that's a really good dog because when things go down for Max, you can always rely on his dogs to like come in and like grapple with a bad guy's arm and like rip it off and stuff like that. That's a good boy. It's a good sidekick. That is a boy on a mission, which is very much in line with the film we'll be talking about here shortly.
Yeah, that's a dog that takes care of fucking business.
That's right.
I mean, I feel like we have to shout out a great dog franchise, the John Wick films. There
Yes.
are so many good boys in those movies. Obviously, his first dog, whose death sets off the entire series. May he rest in peace.
Rip.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
the
an
whole reason why I
incredibly
never finished the first movie. I saw the
Let me
animal
tell-
die and I was like, nope, can't do it anymore.
It's
Isn't
so
that the
cathartic.
beginning of the film?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I turned it off.
Alexis. If you can pick it up from after that point, your heart will grow 10 sizes. It's very, very satisfying. But then, spoilers, he gets another dog by the end of the film. Sweet little
Yeah.
Pitbull. Good boy.
I love
And
pit
finally,
bulls.
I think my favorite dog in those movies is Mr. Nobody's dog in John Wick 4.
Yeah.
Who just, I'm not sure what breed it is. I don't think it's not a German Shepherd, but it just absolutely wrecks fucking shop in action scenes and is just a sweet, nice boy and provides a moment of connection between him and Mr. Wick. And I was very, very pleased to see that boy when I saw John Wick 4 several times in theaters this year. So, John Wick, a good boy, a franchise built on the back of good boys.
Well, when I thought of this, my first instinct was to go to Homeward Bound.
Naturally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow, the golden retriever. So there's like 3 animals. If nobody has seen Homeward Bound, I don't know what fucking rock you lived under in your childhood in the 90s. Maybe you weren't born in the 90s. Maybe I'm old. Doesn't matter.
I know. We all have to know our limits.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, so like the whole movie kind of pins on the emotional connection to the animals, obviously, and Shadow is in fact the goodest boy. He is the ringleader in many ways. He's kind of like the pack leader, and he gets them where they need to go. And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, you think that he's fucking dead, because like he's an old fucking dog and maybe he just didn't make the last leg of this fucking like essentially like journey to fucking get back to their family. And then he just shows up out of nowhere because you think like he got hurt like in like a little ditch or something, and you think like, oh shit, maybe he didn't make it.
He falls into a pit, a muddy pit at a rail yard.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I watched that movie a lot when I was a kid, and I'm trying to think back to like certain memories that kind of unlock your consciousness. And I can confidently say that when Shadow falls into the muddy pit and he's basically like, leave me, I'm not worth saving. You need to get home. You need to be with the family. I think was probably the first profound moment of empathy that I ever felt as a human being was
first and last.
Yes, it was in and out very quickly, but it was Shadow from Homeward Bound that did it. That was a very powerful scene.
It really was. Yeah, just seeing him come over the hill because you think that like he didn't make it, maybe, and then you see him and how happy the boy whose dog it is gets, and it's just like tears, messy and unfuckable, for sure.
And I always forget the dad in Homeward Bound is the guy from Airplane. Like I saw a clip of it recently, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's our hero from Airplane." It's weird seeing him not in a raunchy comedy.
Wow.
I have an honorable mention.
Please.
That my sister said. I've not seen this movie, and I refuse to because I think it's too sad. It's the same reason why I won't watch Marley and Me. Hachi? Have you seen that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's basically kind of like a story about like a dog who like, has a really good relationship with their owner and like meets him at the train every day. Like his owner goes to work and then they go home from work from the train station every day. And then I think something happens to his... So I think something happens to his owner and like the dog literally waits for him for like weeks. It's kind of the whole like Futurama thing where the dog just fucking waits until it dies kind of shit,
Oh my god, that's a tragedy.
Fuck.
Right?
That episode of Futurama and like Schindler's List are neck and neck. I swear.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
I don't know, man. It tears you up inside.
I would like to mention one more of my own and then an honorable mention because, as you've heard, I'm in my father's house, and if I don't mention this movie, I'll be sleeping in the yard. So my other pick would be Rosie from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's what I was going to say. Oh, I love Rosie.
Good-ass dog.
Who's actually a girl, but still a good boy.
Frightening. Yeah.
Her name in real life is Brandy.
Oh.
Which is a good name for her.
That's a great name for a dog. But the one that my dad would have me shout out, which do we have any other big ones we want to mention? Because this could serve as a transition point.
I have a couple that I want to shout out quickly. Again, I don't know the name of this dog or even the character name, but the German Shepherd from I Am Legend with Will Smith. Oh man, yeah. That's a tough one. That was a really good boy.
That tore me the fuck up as a kid.
Yeah, that's a death that I'm still upset about.
That's fucked up
to this day. And then the other one is I know one of you can help me out in this capacity. The actual name of this dog. But our lovely little toy poodle from Batman and
Princess.
Yeah, Princess.
I don't know if that's actually the dog's name, but that's Princess's name in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
I was gonna mention that dog too. That's
we gotta have Princess in this if we're gonna be talking about good boys and or girls. Gender's a construct.
Goddamn right. You're goddamn right. Okay, well, good picks. Alexis, any other good boy shout outs?
The dog from Coco. I don't remember what his fucking name was, but he was a street dog, and I loved him. He was kooky, and then he turned into a little spirit at the end. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
Nice.
We also, unless, Zach, I hope I'm not stealing this from you for your dad, but, like, it would behoove us, as film majors, to discuss Old Yeller.
I don't think I've ever seen Old Yeller.
You've never seen Old Yeller?
If I have, I was too young to remember.
I watched it is somewhere in middle school, and like on days where like you watch movies in class or something. We watched Old Yeller. I think we also had read Old Yeller. Let me tell you, I'm not rewatching Old Yeller. You guys cannot dupe me into watching any more movies where a dog dies. Okay, I'm putting my foot down.
I can fucking definitely dupe you into
I
it.
will watch something else.
Not only can I dupe you into that, I'm going to dupe you into that.
I already have a movie
2024 is coming up, and I already have my New Year's resolution.
My films that I've curated for next year's boat month are they're all connected with one very simple trait that each film shares.
We're bad guys.
You're all fired.
We're villains.
Straight to jail.
The transition film that I was going to bring up is the Paul Walker film. I believe it's Paul Walker, 8 Below.
I can't believe I didn't say that one.
It's a film about, I believe, sled dogs. I don't remember what the exact conflict is. It's been forever since I've seen it.
I do remember what the exact conflict is. Let me tell you, Zach, because I'm ready.
Please, go for it.
Take it away.
Okay, so they're basically, Paul Walker is on like a research base in Antarctica. Don't know. It's somewhere where there's some sort of all sorts of fucking snow and shit, right?
Get those dogs out of there.
Kill the dogs. Kill all of those dogs.
Year round snow. Anyways, some sort of storm is coming, and they end up having to leave like immediately, but they don't have enough space to like take the 8 dogs that they have there at the research facility.
Yes,
so they leave them behind
on
the assumption that they're going to be able to come back for them soon. But what ends up happening is that they don't have the money to go back for them. They don't have the resources to go back for them. This guy, Paul Walker, is like fighting to get his fucking dogs back for like months and months and months. And basically you see him, trying to figure out how to get back to these dogs to like, rescue them. And then while you're watching that, you see how the dogs are trying to survive, basically. And the first death is just the saddest fucking one, because the dogs all of them get free except for the oldest one. He never gets off of the leash that they are like chained up like next to the research facility. I think it was old Jack or something like that. I love how this is all just coming back to me.
Let me tell you how the DVD for 8 Below is currently sitting out in my dad's living room.
Does your dad love that movie? Because I love your dad now.
He loves it. I bought it for him. I bought it for him for his birthday when I was in high school, because I was like, I know 2 things that my dad will like, which are a DVD of The Martian and a DVD of 8 Below.
Good
oh my
picks.
God. I love your dad. I saw that movie in theaters and it broke my fucking heart, because like there's all these moments of like little joy in seeing like the dogs kind of exploring like, the wilderness of this area, on their own and kind of making their own way. But then there's, little moments where like one of them gets injured and they have to like leave them behind, or they won't leave them behind, and when a dog is sad, I'm heartbroken and empty inside.
Inconsolable.
I'm inconsolable.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about, Siberian Huskies and,
Indeed, what could that tie into?
Inclement environments, because our final film of Animation Month is what, Alexis?
It's 1995's
Bingo.
Balto.
Oh,
No,
Balto.
not Bingo.
I thought it was bingo. Ew.
No. Yes, it is 1995's Balto, directed by Simon Wells, with the voice talents of Kevin Bacon, Bob Hoskins, and Jim Cummings. And here is the synopsis. In this animated feature, a deadly diphtheria epidemic strikes the remote town of Nome, Alaska. With the life-saving medicine located hundreds of miles away, the residents decide to send out a sled dog team. Balto, Kevin Bacon, a half-wolf dog ignored by all except a goose, Boris, Bob Hoskins, and 2 polar bears, is chosen to run, but is disqualified by lead dog Steel, Jim Cummings. When the other dogs get lost in the snow, Balto risks his life to rescue them and deliver the medicine.
They
I'd say that's
definitely
right
watched
on,
this movie.
Yeah, that's
pretty accurate.
100%.
I mean, it's a short film, so you know.
It's literally only
feel
78
like-
minutes long, so if they had
Yeah,
gotten that one
they,
wrong, I would have been really disappointed.
Yeah, would have been a pretty big fuck up on Google's part.
For real, for real.
Alexis, why Balto?
The question is, why not Balto? But the answer is that this was, other than like The Lion King, this was my favorite movie to watch as a child. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of times I've seen this movie. I threw it on today. I haven't seen it since last year when I think I made Mick watch it with me for my birthday or something. And
Yeah, that's right.
and I literally made my nephew sit down and watch it with me, and I was just quoting the movie like half the time. Like it's memorized. Like it's
Burned in there.
it's burned in there. I love it. Literally, I tear up twice in this movie every single time. Never fails.
Where at?
So the moment where the dad of Jenna kicks Snow at Balto and says, "Honey, no, you can't play with him. He's part wolf. He might bite." And then like he just like slinks away like he's so sad because all he wanted was to also, you know, be a sled dog on Jenna's little child sled thing. Like he just wanted to play. And then at the very end where the little girl is like, "Balto, I'd be lost without you."
Well, this is a film that really, you know, sings the heroic praises of Balto,
Truly.
which is unfortunate because that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. You know who saved the day? It was a little dog in the other film I watched today, which was Togo. That's
Yeah.
right, motherfuckers.
Oh, you watched
Not only
Togo?
did I watch Balto, I watched Togo because I wanted to hear about the real shit. Because guess what? You know why Balto got all the credit? You know fucking why Balto got all the credit for getting the diphtheria medicine? Because he only did the last leg of the journey. He's the one, it was a handoff situation where different teams of sled dogs were going from Fairbanks to Nome and doing a relay with the medicine.
Yeah.
Most of the sled dog teams ran about 30 miles apiece. One sled dog team, led by an old, grizzled veteran, a 12-year-old Siberian husky named Togo, ran 264 miles. 264!
That's crazy.
8 times as much as any of the other dogs. But who gets credit? Fucking Balto. Because Balto's the one who shows up to the town. What does Togo get? Fucking shit. He doesn't get a statue. He doesn't get a movie until a couple of years ago with a little film called
Wait a
Togo
minute.
on
But
Disney
the
Plus.
statue
Wait, wait, wait.
isn't a
Dafoe.
statue of Balto. It's just a
It's
Yeah, but we
statue.
get the
statue of
movie.
Balto.
It's just a statue of a Siberian husky, and it's dedicated to all the sled
you-
dogs.
Give me a break. All the
let-
papers at the time were about Balto.
Let me
because
get
he's the
this
one who
straight.
showed up.
Let me get this straight. So basically, Steel in the movie Balto is Balto in real life.
Yes.
Wow.
Never meet your heroes.
Oh man.
Let me
This-
just tell
No,
let me just tell
that
our
is
audience.
Not true.
I
Balto
think
is
that's
not
fair.
Is he in this
Steel.
audience?
Yeah, he's coming
Never
in. He's
meet your
stealing
heroes.
He's literally stealing the glory. He
Yes.
is Steel.
Yes.
He's a
Wow.
dog. He didn't ask for the glory. It was thrust upon him.
Wow, Balto's
Okay,
a fraud. Oh my gosh.
Balto a fucking faker.
Damn.
I told you this would be a long episode because I have to clear someone's name.
Well,
Wait,
you
I
know
have
what?
Willem
We should
Dafoe in it,
dedicate
right?
this. We should dedicate this episode in the show notes to Togo.
There we
You're
go.
goddamn right.
Isn't Togo
Okay,
with
it
Willem
is-
Dafoe?
Yes, he's very good in it, and
Oh,
honestly,
wow.
Togo, pretty
I've never
fucking
seen
good
that movie. Where is it available
I
on?
think it's on Disney Plus. Which that was what I was calling you about earlier, Mick, was to try to log into your Disney Plus.
When did it?
Oh,
when did it
okay.
come out?
2019.
Oh, okay. Because I looked it
I was
up
like, I've
online,
never
'cause
heard of that.
I know
Yeah,
about
it was
Togo.
straight to Disney Plus.
I didn't know that had been released yet. I thought that was an up-and-coming title that they were working on.
No,
How
that
come
came out 4
didn't
years
get any
ago.
marketing? That's a dog movie.
don't
I would have
know.
loved to watch that. That's like right up my
and
alley. You know,
It's
no dog
quite
deaths.
good.
Are you saying that 2019 continues to grow as the movie year of all years?
I think so. I
It
think that's what we're
does.
saying.
I do continue to find fucking
Wow.
heaters from that year.
That's nuts.
But okay, one thing I will say about the film Togo is that it is hilariously anti-Balto. It ends with like text, and it's like.
Oh my God.
There is a statue built in Central Park dedicated to the dogs. It resembles Balto. There's like a line of dialogue where they're Willem Dafoe's wife, played by Juliette Nicholson, who's very good in Dream Scenario. She's like trying to get sled dogs together for like the final sled of the journey, and they're like, who will the leaders of that team be? And someone's like, oh, Fox and Balto. And she's like, well, they won't win any races. And I'm like, they're commenting on the film Balto.
That's hilarious. You know what's
Whoever
funny?
made Togo has like I'm doing this as a bit, but whoever made Togo is legit pissed the fuck off about
They're
the movie
correcting
we are
your
talking
record.
about today.
I'm seeing parallels right here because in 1995, 2 hit films were released, Balto and Mel Gibson's Braveheart. Fast forward to 2019, 2020, and you had Togo and Robert
Outlaw
the Bruce,
King.
and Outlaw King about Robert the Bruce, which also went directly to streaming for Netflix.
Holy shit, that's funny.
That is an exact parallel. So basically, Balto is Mel Gibson in Braveheart, who really didn't do like that much when it was actually Robert the Bruce that saved the day, and they did him dirty in that movie, so they had to make his own film that corrected the record. This is, oh my God, Balto and Braveheart. They're the same film. Oh my God.
So, in fact,
Yeah.
you are correct and incorrect at the same time, because
My God.
the movie that really ousted Balto is Toy Story 1995.
What is this?
What?
Toy Story also came out in 1995. It's like people were like,
no.
How did that oust Balto, though?
because who gives a fuck about Balto when Toy Story came out? Toy Story is like a modern classic still.
Well, no, I think more what we're saying is that there's just this weird parallel
Yeah, we're
between
making
No, I
the
see, I see,
connections.
Balto
I
and
see the weird parallel.
But you're saying that I don't need to take Balto down because Toy Story already did.
Yeah, no. I mean,
In the
Balto,
box
I don't think
office.
Balto really did that great at the box office, like, when it came out, because Toy Story basically fucking rocked its shit.
Rang its
Well,
bell.
I can tell you that at least one person is still very mad about it, and they directed the film Togo.
You know what? I respect that because I love a good history buff, you know? But when I was in the 3rd grade, we had this assignment where we had to choose what our animal was to do research on, and my animal was the gray wolf. And I've always loved wolves. Every time, like, when I get a fucking Mexican ass blanket at the fucking remate or whatever, like, gotta get one with wolves on it, because why the fuck not? If you're gonna go Mexican, like, go
primal.
all the way, you know?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so, like, I think in particular, I have, like, a really big predilection for dogs, and specifically wolves. So the whole concept of him being, like, even if it's not true, part dog, part wolf, and that being, like, a representation of being an outsider and being different and having to learn that your differences make you stronger. Don't care. I don't give a shit about everything else, specifically because that mattered a lot to me as a child.
You know, I have to say, rewatching this film after going to the White Wolf Sanctuary in Oregon a couple weeks ago, I was definitely pulling for Balto a lot more on a rewatch because they're being all like, he's a mixed breed. He's not a dog. He's half wolf and half
propaganda.
Dog. Yeah, and when you go to the wolf sanctuary, they teach you the history of how wolves have been kind of like sharks, just completely unjustly vilified by the human species, and like. I was like, oh my, like you can even buy a T-shirt there that says "Little Red Riding Hood lied." I was like, God damn, I like that. So I have to say,
wow, like the film Balto lied.
Yeah, exactly.
Balto
There's a lot of lying happening. But yeah, I'm totally like I was already pro wolf, but now that I've actually been around them and what majestic beasts that they are. I'm like, I'm not going to say I'm pro Balto because, Balto was a fraud, but I'm pro mixed breed, dog, wolf, and just wolf in general. So in that capacity, I have his back. And I want to say, I don't appreciate how those other dogs they were othering him. They were being racist. And this film teaches kids to not be racist towards dogs, in particular.
Good, yeah.
Humans are fair
children
game.
will extrapolate no metaphor.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but I love the goose, though. I love Bob Hoskins.
I fucking love Bob Hoskins. I loved his voice performance here. I am Who Framed Roger Rabbit's strongest soldier.
You truly are. I kept thinking about you every time I heard his voice because it kept making me think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Because at the time when I originally saw this as a kid, I'd never seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I didn't see that until I was like a teenager.
Yeah, see, that was probably in a similar level of rotation for me as Balto was for you.
I feel like that says a lot about your character profiles.
I think it really does.
Yeah,
a lot adds up there.
Alexis, pleasant and well-adjusted. Me, embittered and alcoholic.
I don't know if I would say pleasant and well-adjusted because I just
pleasant.
briefly forgot to mention, like while we were talking about the wolf thing, that you know how you were talking about how disgusting I am earlier? Well, my first thought when we were talking about wolves was, I wouldn't be a furry, like I don't want to be a furry.
I knew this would come up. I knew this would come up.
But if I had to choose the animal that I was if I was a furry, like we're saying this is a purely hypothetical situation that is never going to happen. But if I were, I would be a wolf. And that's all that I need to say on that.
Okay, so I just want to, let's quick episode in review. Fascism is scrumptious, and I want to have sex with dogs. That's,
no!
Whoa,
No!
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's what you're saying. That is what you're saying.
No.
It is.
No.
That's the
What I'm
subtext.
saying is that I would be a wolf. Okay?
So that
Maybe I'd fuck a sheep.
Yeah, see, I'm still parachuting out of this plane.
Guys, this is
echoing back.
Guys. This is the first G-rated movie we've ever talked about.
We are 56 minutes into this episode before furries were brought up.
Do you know why I said that though? Because I got invited to a furry party one time, and this person. What?
Did you go?
Of course, it was a Halloween party. I mean, I was dressed up as Velma, so I wasn't dressed up like a furry or anything. But like a bunch of these people were in their furry gear or whatever. And I met this person that like I knew from high school, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" But actually, never mind. I know what you're doing here. I can see what you're doing here. And his girlfriend was a wolf, and he was a sheep. That's why I made that joke. So
go chase some tail, buddy. Am I right?
There we go.
So, Balto, the film. First and foremost, a thing that I've noticed in animated films is Why do animators always got to make the anthropomorphic female animals have like sexy eyes?
That's
Like,
I had the
They
same
always
thought.
give them like fuck me eyes. I was watching Surf's Up a while ago with my buddy Hunter, and I was like, oh, I was worried that I wouldn't want to fuck the Zooey Deschanel penguin, and I'm glad my fears have been allayed because they've given her such sexy, sultry eyes. It's
I still
weird.
think the
It's a
most
weird thing that
egregious-
animators do.
The most egregious fuck me eyes in animation remains to be
The Lion
Nala from The Lion King.
Oh, 100%.
That is still.
That's a sexy cat.
Oh boy, that's
Listen.
unsubtle. But yeah, no, Zach,
I'm not
I
a
had
furry,
this,
but critical support, guys.
I had the same thought when we're introduced to the female dog. I was like, they even made her have a big chest. Like they're going
She's
all
busty.
in. She's
Oh
a
my
busty
God.
dog.
Look at the rack on the top.
She's got like the ittiest bittiest waist, but like a huge bust.
Little in the middle, but you got such back.
Yo, the fucking the purple dog, Dixie or whatever her fucking name is,
Trixie,
she's
I think.
rancid. That bitch would
Yeah.
she'd roll the fuck over for
I love that. I love that pun. That's good.
Oh my God.
That
Okay,
bitch.
so my
She's literally a
thoughts.
bitch.
My
her
thoughts
whole
on the
thing where
film.
she's like, my girl is away at boarding school. Like literally like come over and ride me any day of the week.
I knew this episode was going to be like this. Since Animation Month was announced, I knew it. It was like, so this train's on the tracks, right? And I am that poor, helpless damsel in distress that's been tied to the railroad tracks, of knowing that all of these furry jokes were coming at me, and I'm here and I'm not happy about it.
Somebody
Okay,
called
but, like, when's
Denzel
the
Washington
next
and Chris Pine.
When's the next opportunity that I'm going to be able to crack furry jokes, okay? Or dog related puns, okay? You know, it just doesn't come around that often. And when you see your
I think it's-
opportunity, you got one shot, one opportunity.
Oh my God. So my thoughts on the film. I generally was like, this is not a film that's like just like child appropriate. This is like a movie for kids.
Yeah.
I felt like generally wasn't a lot there for me story-wise or character-wise as an adult. But I will say the thing that kept me the fuck engaged was our boy, our king, our hero, James Horner, leaving it all on the
Leaving it
fucking
down.
court with
Throwing
that
it down.
score. Like, that is such a fucking phenomenal score. Like better than it has any fucking right to be. He went absolutely crazy with it. The like
Yeah.
scene, the opening of the movie, I think, where you see the initial race with Steel and they're like going into the canyon. That shit, the score there is like nuts. It felt like it belonged in like Lord of the Rings. I was very, very pleased with it. And yeah, James Horner, rest in peace. You would have loved being brought up on our Furry Talk episode.
So the thing is that before I ever knew that I was like a film kid, I was a film kid because I noticed that a lot of the movies that I really gravitated towards and like really like played over and over, I look at them now and I'm like, oh, they have the same composers. I really loved the music from them. And James Horner was one of them, like where it's like, oh, I loved An American Tail, I loved Balto, and I loved The Land Before Time. And like, even to this day, there's like an emotional memory in those scores where I can just listen to those scores, see the movie in my mind, and cry during like the apex of emotion for each scene. Like, it's crazy, like how ingrained the emotion of the movie is just through the music itself. It blows my mind still.
Yeah, I wish that live action movies would take their music as seriously as a lot of animated films do, because when you're in an animated world, you really have to kind of rely on the music a little bit more. And like there are some, Alexis, you're touching on it, there are some truly magnificent scores that have been done for kids films and animated movies, and
The Land Before
this
Time.
is no exception. Yeah,
The Land Before
it's
Time,
just like
definitely.
Also,
there are
Horner,
some really
right?
good music out
Yes.
there.
I think the thing is that like I don't know if it's like sometimes I wonder because like sometimes in movies like I feel like do they think we're stupid in the way that like they're trying to lead us to this emotional moment without having it there, or is it like in the animated movies is the emotional moment there and the music is just helping, and is it just that the quality is different? Like that's kind of always my question.
I think it's operatic in its sense, where part of the story is the music. Like that,
Yeah.
the music is what helps carry you through those strong cathartic moments, and that it really would not hit as hard if it wasn't for James
like,
Horner doing his thing.
Specifically, like in The Land Before Time, which I will be watching tomorrow with my sister and Jackson for Thanksgiving, like night before. It's
Nice.
very whimsical and playful in this way that it needs to be because it's like very dark, you know? It's like a bunch of little kid dinosaurs like going through some really dangerous situations, but it still takes the moments to like bring you back to like the whimsy of kind of being a child. I don't know. Really good. James Horner, he's my king. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, you legend.
He
You know
is.
who's my king?
Oh my god, Titanic.
You know who's my fucking
Avatar?
king?
Yeah, that
No,
was the weakest
Togo
part.
is my king. Togo is my fucking king because Togo's a hero. That's right. I'm bringing it back. Togo, what a hero, what a king.
But I bet that
Rest
James
in
Horner
peace.
did not score Togo.
No, he was
He was
dead at
dead.
the time.
Yeah, that's sad. I was going to say, that is like the major, in regards to Avatar and Avatar 2, I think the main lapse in quality is that you don't have James Horner scoring the second one.
Yeah, but they take
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of his
I think the
themes.
composer. Yeah, I think the composer does a good job building out on his score.
Not the
there's-
same, though,
it's-
you know?
There's quite a lot of nods, you know, to Horner. So
Listen, I will not argue though that James Horner's fucking score for the original Avatar whips.
Yeah, I listened to
Great
that
fucking
so
score.
much when I was a kid.
yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, so back to Balto. I think it's
Yes.
really funny that the same man who gave us "I Can Hear You Calling in the Air Tonight," oh Lord,
Phil Collins.
is the fucking polar bears. Not just one, but both of them. The one that doesn't
That's
actually
Phil
Talk in
Collins?
words, and the other
Yeah,
one.
Phil Collins
he's
is
both
the
of them.
Bears.
He's both of them. The one who's like, he's like, he's like, what did he
I
say?
knew he was
And
in
he's
the
like-
movie, but that was not who I expected him to be.
No.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the whole movie is when he's like, and then the goose is like, what the fuck is he saying? And he's like, oh, the polar bear who fears the water, shame on us. No wonder we are shunned by our fellow bears. Woe is us. It's what he said. Kind of pathetic, really. I don't know why. I still find that line really, really cute and adorable. And it's really funny that it's the same person that's doing both the noises and then this little polar bear voice.
Yeah, and it's legendary musician Phil Collins.
Yes.
I have to say, speaking of the bears, the animation in this film is pretty good. It's very impressive because you could tell this is still in the era of 2D animation where it's all hand drawn. These
Yeah.
are craftspeople that are
There's teams in charge of each
drawing
person.
this by hand, each frame, and there's 24 frames per second. That is a lot of drawings that need to match up. And this film does a really, really good job with the animation. But
Yeah.
my issue with Balto the first time I saw it, and it's arguably worse the second time I watch it, is the animation of those bears is
They're
bad.
having a tough time.
Those do not look like bears. They look like a police artist sketch of a bear that's done a crime where you're like, okay, I can kind of see that that's a bear. Like when you look at a police artist sketch, like, okay, that's a person, I guess. It doesn't work for me. The little paws that they have
I love
and the
little
weird
paws.
face. It doesn't look like a bear. It looks like a Dr. Seuss character.
It didn't work for me as well because, generally I like how this movie looks. I mean, I think that it's fair to say that this probably was an animated film without a ton of budget behind it comparatively.
Oh yeah,
because like there's some corners being cut at points. Like a lot of the people, unless they're like speaking characters, don't have a lot of detail to their faces.
yeah.
A lot of times they're not moving. Which again isn't really a flaw, but
the other thing that leads me to believe that this was shot on a budget are the opening and close of this movie which are live action segments at the real statue of that fucking fraud Balto, and I think that those were probably shot like that to like save money from having to there's like I can see what it's doing. There's kind of like a Princess Bride style like storybook quality to it.
I would say that's probably not a budgetary thing. I think that's probably a creative choice.
I think it's probably both.
You know what tells me that this movie didn't have much of a budget?
What?
That the guy who sang the ending song is somebody named Stephen Winwood, where 1995...
Steve Winwood?
Steve Winwood?
Yeah, Steve Winwood's a fucking famous musician.
Okay, but is
Steve Winwood, right?
But is he Randy Newman?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, because Toy Story, which came out in the same...
Newman?
No.
Where is Randy? Give me Randy Newman.
Somebody call up Randy Newman. Get him on the phone right now.
Steve Winwood did do Higher Love, though.
Is that the Bring Me Higher?
Yeah, that's Steve Winwood.
Yeah, Steve Winwood.
Great. So he was popular in the 80s?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and Randy Newman wasn't.
Why are we coming for Steve
Alexis,
Winwood's life like this?
Alexis,
he was out here doing his best.
Alexis, name a famous Randy Newman song.
Short People.
I'm sorry. No, it's You've Got a Friend in Me, okay? Because he came out with a fucking banger on Toy Story, okay?
You think that's a banger?
Even on fucking
You don't think
on
that's
the
a
Land
banger?
Before
No, it's not
Time.
a
On the
banger.
Land Before Time. You shut the fuck up right now. You all shut the fuck
It's
up
not
right
a
now. You
banger.
stop and
You
you shut
can't
the fuck
compare
up.
this
Because
to
they got
Steve Winwood's
Diana
Higher Love.
Ross.
You two
They got
need
Diana
taste.
Ross on
Mick,
fucking
you
The
gotta
Land
be
Before
canceled.
Time. I'm just saying. Okay, there's Diana Ross, there's Randy Newman, and then there's Steve Winwood. I don't know who the fuck Steve Winwood. I don't give a fuck about Steve Winwood.
I'm defending Steve Winwood. You are doing him dirty.
Okay. I'm here. Here's
I love
where
that
I'm
song,
standing.
okay? I do. But like I feel like that's a budgetary
Critique I've
thing.
ever heard.
Okay, I'm gonna stand here, somewhat in the middle, and say, one, Mick, you're fucking wrong. You've Got a Friend in Me is a banger, but Alexis, I will say that at the time period, I would not say that Randy Newman was a comparably bigger celebrity than Steve Winwood. Steve Winwood was fairly popular, I feel like.
Was he still popular in 1995?
I don't know. Was I alive in 1995? No. I was just a thought. Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to go on a limb and say he was still popular because they got him to do a song for the end credits of this film.
Guys, this is a really good episode.
I feel like I've been dunked really hard. You know what? Actually, I'm this place is tapped. I'm out of here. I've been mentally crushed by. Was I alive in 1995? I don't know if I'm going to recover.
Yeah, I was thinking this movie was released
Alexis.
in 1995. This movie is as old as I am.
Yeah, this movie's
Watching
3
this
years older
made
than
me
me.
feel my age. I won't lie.
Yeah, you're like Togo. You're an old veteran, but god damn it, you're gonna get the job done.
I do actually think that the third act of this movie is very exciting. I'm trying to bring it back together for the last part of this fucking episode. I think that the third act of this movie is actually is actually very exciting. I think like once you get them like going on their journey, going through like the mountain pass, that and with James Horner's score beneath it, it just like really fucking progresses. Like the icicle section, the part where they almost fall off the mountain, like it all just kind of like bop bop bops. So I also really love that dog who is the guy who's doing the Morse code, and his dog has this like weird little tick where like his eye twitches like in Morse code. I love that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was
that's
cute.
like a fun little animator detail that someone must have been really proud of.
Yeah, I really like that. I get really bummed every time the guy like takes the little lantern down because he says, "As long as there's hope for these children, I won't take this light down." And then like towards the end, like he takes it down, and everybody's like, "Oh, fuck the children." Oh, the fucking mental imagery of, I'm just trying to bop some shit off right now. The mental imagery of the little coffins that are getting made. And so then it's like, oh, you understand the gravity of the situation of like, oh, these children are literally about to fucking die. Like the people in the town are preparing for their deaths. You know, as a children's movie, you know, not every child is as incredibly gifted as I was at a young age. So, you know, they need to be a little bit more obvious with certain things. I'm just joking, guys, but I'm really not.
I do think that's a good way to like communicate life or death stakes in a movie where, you know, it's rated G. I don't think you can show people die.
Yeah.
Child coffins.
Because it's like the same guy.
Easy fix.
The same guy who was who brought this little girl like a shit ton of joy at the very beginning of the movie by making her this dog sled is the same woodworker who has to craft all of these fucking like graves, you know, for these children. So
yeah, that's good economical storytelling. I will say that you know, Balto does get in, get out, get everything it needs to say said in an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it wastes no time. That's for sure.
I do also love the whole, I don't know if a dog can make this journey, but maybe a wolf can. I love that it comes back at that moment where he's kind of been like, trying to hide this part of himself that feels like really shameful. Like when he's like, I have the keys to the city, and he like takes the nail out of the hinge out of the door, and then she's like, oh, Balto, you have such big paws.
Oh boy.
I don't like how you curl your ponytail as you say that.
Did make a note of that, and it did say big paws kind of run in my family. Guy has big paws, you know, he got a big old hog. So
don't want to think about
make
that.
sure that I say those notes that I wrote.
I really am not enjoying this episode, like at all. Like, it just keeps getting worse. I think
circling back, he makes a sexual joke about his paws, but in actuality, he is ashamed of the fact that he has bigger paws because that's an indication that he's not completely Siberian Husky. He's also a wolf, blah, blah, blah. But then there's that moment, which is my favorite song of the score, is when he's down there in the snow, he's fallen with the medicine, and he's kind of just decided to give up. And then this wolf comes over and like kind of tries to like be like, hey man, what's up? Like, are we related? And then he's just like, nah, man, shut the fuck up and go away. And then you hear Boris, you know, a dog cannot make this journey alone, but maybe a wolf can. And then you hear the music like start to swell, and he goes and he puts his paw into the paw print, and he sees that it matches with the wolf, and he decides to own his heritage, and we're all very happy for him.
Racism is dead. Yay!
Balto
You know
solved
what?
it, except
I will
Balto didn't
say,
because Balto was a fraud.
I will say one thing I did appreciate in that scene is a single hero shot of Balto where the camera kind of swings around Balto as he's howling with his ancestor.
Yeah.
And something that this movie does, again, we were kind of critiquing some of the animation, but it is in general quite good. What they really nail in that shot is the camera comes around, is that the camera, I'm using quotes because it's not a real camera, is looking into the sun. And they use a practical element that would happen in real life, is that they animate in a sun flare. to like be behind Balto, and it really takes the shot together, adding in a I guess you would say something that is an error within a lens is when you get those lens flares.
Yeah.
It is really effective. I think that was a really beautiful shot as the camera swings around, and it does kind of add to the heroism of that sequence.
Indeed.
Mick, you're doing such admirable work actually talking about this movie. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of all of us. We've really been dialed in the past few minutes.
We truly have.
I'd like to apologize for nothing because I am here defending Togo. Did you know that Leonard Sapala, the sled driver on Togo's sled, was largely responsible for the Siberian Husky breed as we know it today because
I knew that.
like Siberian dogs to Alaska and bred them,
care.
and they like the Husky, quote unquote, wasn't really a breed. It was just what they started calling any of those dogs that were from Siberia in Alaska. So, you know, the actual Balto, we really don't know what breed he was because, you know, it was at the time when sort of the Husky was becoming a thing. But we do know that he was a glory hound and a liar. So that's
You've heard it here, folks.
So
We on this show correct history.
I'm going to take the same stance that I took with Elvis.
Nice. I'm a dog.
In that I do not necessarily support who he is or maybe what he stood for, but I sure did love Austin Butler's Elvis, and the same stands for Balto. I do not have to approve of what he stood for in the masses and in actuality and history because fuck that. I stand for Kevin Bacon's Balto.
I mean, you could say that, like, you have real events in reality, but then you have films that are based off of a true story that find the emotional truth in reality. It's not reflecting reality, but it is finding that emotional
It's an
core
emotional
that we know
truth
is
that
truth.
people can empathize with and relate to and find meaning in. And that is what happened to me as a child. I felt like I was not like other kids. I did not feel good about myself. And Balto learned to love himself and succeed. And that was what I needed. I needed that idea that, you know what, me too. I too can fucking make it through life, you know? So I love you, Balto. Even if you were a glory hound and that is hearsay, okay, from my co-host.
Fuck all that noise, Togo gang for life!
But I am here to say, Togo, you are the bestest boy. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Amen.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap this episode up, for the love of God.
Really? You don't want to retouch on the furry section?
Nope, I don't.
Yeah, no, I feel like we could talk about more furry stuff. Mick, what's your fursona?
Oh, God.
I've seen the suit, buddy.
This episode is actually, it's longer than the movie officially.
There we go.
Sure is.
And I am appalled.
Appalled?
No,
Appalled.
there's also it's abhorrent. It's appalling.
Abhorrent, yes.
I think it's nice.
Yeah,
Well, of course
I mean,
you
like,
do.
I'm rancid, so like that's like kind of my middle ground is abhorrent and appalling. So
Well, Alexis, I've so enjoyed this journey to the animation station. It's a shame that the train derailed in the wilderness and we all died.
Yeah, the train really went off the tracks. It was a horrible
It was a
accident.
beautiful journey.
it's like it was like the
think we were
last
going-
segment of Train to Busan where like that there was like a collision and then it just like rocket launched off the tracks.
I just picture the train at the end of Mission Impossible, where it's just flying off a cliff. That's what happened to this train, for
and
sure.
now we've found ourselves in kind of a frightening place.
Yeah.
Kind of a troubling place.
A troubling place for sure.
Someone might say a cursed place.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
what time of the year is it?
This,
What are we coming up on?
Please
my
don't say
friends
it's
and our
so.
lovely fans, we are now entering Cursed Christmas. That's right, folks. That's right. As we get closer to the holiday season, we will be exploring films that take us into that holiday spirit and cover us in the big ick. Movies that really we don't like, or maybe we like for perverse reasons. And we got a lot of that on this show.
These are not horror films,
No.
but they are films which horrify.
Yes, well
And-
said.
We would like to note this will be the first time in over a year where we are taking a break.
Yes.
We will be doing 3 episodes of a Film Major's Cursed Christmas, and then we will be taking a fucking break for the holidays.
And we
You'll
deserve
be
it.
okay.
You know why?
We put in the hard work.
There will be no compromise week because there is no compromise in a curse.
You're goddamn right.
That's
Each
correct.
one of us brings something which frightens and horrifies us. And we will be starting with the person who I believe whose idea this was, Mr. Mick Munyai. Mick, what do you
Munyai.
have for Munyai?
Munyai.
What do you have for a
My
Film Major's
friends
Cursed Christmas?
and enemies, to start off Cursed Christmas, I thought we would dust off a lovely old classic. We will be venturing forth and watching 1998's Jack Frost.
Oh my god!
Starring Michael Keaton.
That's so funny that that's your pick.
It gets a skyrocketing 19% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's so funny.
So I'm quite curious. I've seen this once when I was a kid. I remember
Wow, this is not what I
nothing
thought you were
about
going to
it.
pick.
No, this is kind of out of
100% was thinking about what movie I would do, and then I was like, gosh, Jack Frost was really, there's just something kind of wrong about it. And thank you,
Exactly.
Mick. Thank you, Mick.
What-
You're really
what-
kicking us off right.
What better way to make us all feel deeply uncomfortable than by watching Michael Keaton as a very weird, creepy snowman? I'm actually excited to watch this.
Anthropomorphic snowman?
Yeah, it's not, I don't like his smile. There's something unsettling about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be covering that next week, and I think
You
I
can-
speak on everyone when I say we hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and or Friendsgiving holiday. We hope
Yeah,
you ate
and
plenty
I
and
hope
drank
you-
plenty.
I hope you drank a lot to
Listen.
put up with your family. I wish that
There
for
we
you.
go.
I second that.
Well, hey, listen, if you need to get away from your family, you can stay caught up with the Film Majors and what we're watching, and you can watch Jack Frost on Max. Or, you could just see what the Film Majors are up to on social media, and you could go ahead and follow us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Or, you could get started on your letter to Santa, Zach, the Film Majors. You could get started on that by emailing us at filmmajorspod and telling us what you think is a cursed Christmas film. Again, that's filmmajorspod@gmail.com. All right. And with that, we're almost fucking 10 minutes longer than Balto, so let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Bye!
I do say I like how we all take turns being dastardly on this show, and it was nice. It was nice to be on the sidelines this time because we went places. Good Lord,